Hey guys, it's me, Lane, your wedding planning guide. We travel across East Coast states and introduce you to different venues and ideas for your wedding. Today on our stop, we have the barn on Pennington Road in Tyrone, Pennsylvania. When you first roll up, you'll find a giant sign that says, "Hey, can't miss this turn," and a beautifully paved long stretch of driveway that goes over a water spill, and the first sight you'll see is the ceremony space, along with a brilliant look at the mountains and skies in the background. This was used as a milking barn until 2015. There is handicap parking, or you can meet Terry and his son Terry Jr., and they will help you park your car in the very large parking lot. The venue provides these beautiful wooden benches for seating for your guests, and the lawn is flat for anyone who may have mobility issues. They also have a double sided hexagon arch and Jack Daniel whiskey barrels that you can decorate and use for the ceremony. Don't forget a few things for the spring and summer months, like spraying down the area for sweat bees and bugs. And on hot days, it's a good idea to utilize the copper barrels and give your guests some cold water on their way to the ceremony. There is plenty of electric and coverage for your musicians or DJ. They will be able to see where you enter, watch the whole ceremony, and watch you exit. Only a few short steps away from the ceremony site is cocktail hour area. It's sheltered for the guests. The venue provides tables, chairs, and a downstairs bar and bathroom. We do recommend placing your gift and card table at the ceremony site. We witnessed a lot of guests having to hold their gifts and cards during ceremony and cocktails. Just make sure to designate someone to take them to your vehicles after cocktail hour. On the other side of cocktails is a prep room for you or your partner. It has a large table, fridge, and sink. It's got a good space for your breakfast and brunch, or if you just want to play cards until the photographer is ready for you. This room also has a set of steps that leads to the upstairs reception area. The venue has a 200-person capacity limit, and at 150 guests, these weddings were already a tight squeeze. We recommend a lower number of 125 or less so that you can have an aisleway for indoor ceremony backup in case of rain and a larger dance floor. You don't have to worry about the barn getting too hot because of this huge ceiling fan. Just try not to sit older guests underneath it and make sure your centerpieces, napkins, and favors are heavy or tucked under so they don't blow away. We do recommend table clips for linens, but that's at your own discretion. The upstairs of the barn also has a second prep room. It has plenty of lights, seating, mirrors, and room to move around in. The barn provides the tables, chairs, and setup. You can come and decorate however you wish, but there is a no open flame policy, which means candles must be battery operated. There is a fire pit outside if you want to have a s'more station or just somewhere to sit in the evening. There is also a second bar upstairs with great cooler space, keg space, sinks, and plenty of room to serve. If you decide to have a dry reception, you can utilize it as your guest book, memorial table, cards, and gifts and favors. There are two bathrooms, family bathrooms, which are upstairs as well. The venue will keep everything cleaned and very well stocked with items. Past the bar is a rectangular room. That room is usually used for buffet service and dessert stations. Here is a shot from outside of the reception. As you can see, there's plenty enough room for a coffee or food truck. If you're a history buff or from a family that farms, you'll definitely enjoy the knickknacks you're going to find from ceiling to floor here. Does anyone remember Burma Shave? They had rhyming slogans like this all across the different routes in the US. Even the Everly Brothers sponsored them. The history behind the painting on the barn was done in 2006, 2007 by an artist named Pamela Snyder from Altoona. Now, up until 1992, Redmond paid farmers to paint their ads on the sides of barns and offered them free tobacco and snuff. And in 2022, Redmond took the American Native Chief off their packaging. Now back to the wedding. The DJ setup is pretty tight. Our reception setup takes about 10 feet. We had to squeeze it down to 6, which didn't matter to our group because they had great weather, so the garage doors were open and the dance floor led to the outside. The sun will be setting and will come in through the reception hall, so anticipate having a great photographer who can deal with rough lighting. They will have a lot of brightness and shadows on the dance floor unless you keep both garage doors closed. So, what are the pros about using the barn? You have an accommodating owner and staff. All tables, chairs, setup, and tear down are provided. Two prep rooms, three bathrooms, two bars, plenty of fridge and cooler space. You barely have to decorate, and there's so much potential for fun vendors like a coffee truck, s'more station, live musicians. So be prepared to be full of ideas. We haven't been there in the fall and winter, so you may want to ask about space heaters for the guests to stay warm. Things about the barn to be aware of. The ceremony site is close to the road, so sometimes cars and trucks will pass and they beep, but the traffic is low and it's not a main busy road. You can squeeze 150 people upstairs, but we recommend no more than 100 to 125. So if you do have an indoor ceremony, you have an aisleway and a dance floor. When the sun sets during the reception, any guests seated next to the big garage doors will be hit with the sun, so be aware you may have a few guests who get too hot or they get blinded by some light. Remember, don't place older guests under the big barn fan or too close to the DJ, or else they're going to come and tell us 100 times that it's too loud. So, if you're looking for a gorgeous, diamond in the rough, hidden gem of Central PA, we recommend calling Terry today and setting up your walkthrough. Make sure to hit our subscribe button to get updates on other venues in Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, and West Virginia. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok by searching Awestruck Entertainment or use our handle at Awestruck Entertains.